And that's a great track from a man we're going to talk to in a sec, his previous album, and the track is called Devil in Your Eyes. But we've got the new album too, which you've been hearing tracks from. And we just happen to have the man with us right now from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's the rock and roll cowboy himself, Kyle Martin. Kyle, how are you?
I am great, Mr. Paul Mack. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good now, mate. Great to talk to you. Great to have you on the show.
I'm excited to be here.
Oh, yeah. I love the new CD, but I still play some of the older tracks from your previous recordings, and we'll get to all that. But listen, how did Oklahoma go for you?
It was good. I got to see my family a little bit when I was out there, and we played some music, and it was a nice trip.
Oh, that's good. And you did plenty of gigs up there?
Yeah, I've got to play in Oklahoma quite a bit over the years. It's kind of like, my second home, so to speak. I've spent some time out there. My mom's family's from there, so Oklahoma's special when I'm not in New Mexico.
Oh, okay. Why did you move to New Mexico? Was it for the?
No, I actually grew up here, and
okay.
I grew up on a big ranch down in kind of central New Mexico. That with my father's side of the family, and that's really all I ever knew. And later on in life, I moved around a little bit, but I've lived in New Mexico most of my life.
Oh, okay. Is the music scene in New Mexico vibrant?
Yeah, it's I think the music scene in especially in Albuquerque is very eclectic. There's a lot of different sounds coming out of here. We're not just a one genre town for sure. You'll hear a lot of different kind of music in Albuquerque and in New Mexico.
Yeah, we don't have too many artists in New Mexico other than yourself. Maybe you can spread the word for us.
Heck yeah, I'll do all I can.
Kyle, the previous album was a very, very rocky tribute to rock and roll and good Southern country. But you've changed your demeanour a little bit with the new CD, which I really like, by the way. There's half a dozen great tracks on that, which we've been playing on the show. But why the sudden change? Or was it a sudden change?
No, I had some softer tunes in the bag, and we went in the studio not really knowing what we were gonna, cut, so to speak. And we did a track, and we do another track. And before long, I looked at the producer, Jesse Corman, and I said, this is a pretty soft record. This is a pretty acoustic record. And when we got through about 6 tracks, I said, you know what? Let's stop here, and it'll be this EP, and this is what it'll be. It'll be the softer side, I guess. Yeah,
look, I think it came out very well. The production's very good, and you've got some interesting guitar string sounds on it.
Yeah, we did some different things. I only played electric guitar just a little bit. I know on one track I actually played an acoustic bass with a bow. So we did some different things, and I played a lot of keyboard on this record. So
yeah, I was trying to work out exactly what it was. I thought it might have been on one of the tracks, and I can't remember which one. I thought it might have been a cigar box guitar or something. It's a very strange sound.
Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, that's on. Word Gets Around.
Word Gets Around.
Track.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that track, and I love the sound of it.
Well,
very, very good. So hopefully we can play a few more from that over the next few weeks and into the future, because there's not a song I don't like on it. They're all good.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, like I say, you've given us such great support over the years. Yeah, it's a little softer side. I tell people that if you're the hard rock fan, you might not like it as much, but I guess it'll win me a few other fans maybe that like the softer stuff.
Well, that's exactly right, and we're certainly hoping that our listeners will gravitate to it and grab a hold of it, and we'll tell them where to go to get it in a minute. But what do you do for fun, Kyle? What does Kyle Martin do other than get on stage?
Well, a lot of my time, honestly, Paul, I spent booking dates, trying to get more gigs, just trying to PR myself. I'll go out here locally, and I have a few close friends that I see here in town. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I watch a lot of Star Trek.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you really are just a 100% musician, aren't you?
Yeah, people like me, I don't know, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. You get so wrapped up in the venture and wanting to play music and trying to take it to the next level. But I mean, that's what I want to do, and I enjoy it so much. And of course, playing live, there's nothing that trumps that for me. So,
yeah, well,
it's my passion, I guess.
Yeah, and what about touring? What's coming up for Kyle Martin?
We've got a pretty good schedule lined up right now, Paul. We've got about 30 plus dates all the way running into right now August and September.
Well done.
I think we're in Texas. We're also in Arizona, Colorado. We'll be in California later in the year. So we've got a lot of good dates coming up. I'm excited.
Well, there's a lot of miles involved in that. How does your home life stack up when you're away so much?
Well, there again, I've just figured out how to get out of town and get back, and I don't really have anybody here to answer to, so to speak, so that makes it a little easier.
Yeah, okay.
And
all right.
the band's really cool. My drummer Billy Lorne and my bass player Don Tarpley are super awesome people, and we go off together, and we're kind of like a little family, and we just make it work.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you got some good dates coming up. That's tremendous. What about the eastern states? Are you going to venture over to the east?
In time, I would like that. It's tough getting that far and then getting back to your home base, and hopefully, but we're going further and further every year, and we keep building up a bigger fan base. So I could see the potential for that, maybe in the next couple of years.
Oh, that's good. And more importantly, what about down under? What about Australia, New Zealand?
Now that would truly be spectacular if we could come down there. That would be awesome. My aunt spent some time in Australia, and she's told me some great things about it. I'd love to be able to come down there and do something like that.
Yeah, look, I say this to a lot of people. We've got a lot of festivals down here, a lot of country festivals and blues festivals and all sorts of things. There'd be a lot of dates in it for you if you'd come down and do a whole bunch of them.
Man, if we could ever work it out, I'd be the first one on the plane. Or the boat, or however we could get there.
Yeah. We'll swim over if you have to.
Yeah, man, like a canoe.
Yeah. Kyle, let's see if we can tempt our listeners to go and buy some of your music. Where's it available?
Well, there's a lot of different options for them. If they want to go to the website, which is kylemartinmusic.com, there are links that will take them to these places. It's on iTunes. The new record Broke Down's on iTunes. All the albums are on iTunes and Amazon.
Oh, great.
And Spotify, okay. And we do have a Pandora station, Kyle Martin Pandora station, if they want to go check that out. So they've got a lot of avenues there they can take. Okay,
well, you're on the ball. And our listeners know all about those sites. So hopefully it makes it easy for them. But, I certainly recommend, all your recordings. There's nothing wrong with any of them. They're all very, very good, and we're going to play more on the show.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, like I say, you guys have just been so awesome to play the music, and it's tough in this day and age. There's so many musicians. Everybody's trying to get out there, and any support that you can get is super appreciated.
Yeah. Look, since the early days when we played you, I'm also doing half a dozen shows in Australia, produced in Australia by some mates of mine on another station. We do about half a dozen a year, but every week on their weekly show, they play 3 tracks from the Super Indie Show artists under the banner of Mac Tracks. So hopefully we can get you on one of those shows also.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Kyle Martin, absolutely fantastic to talk to you, and I hope we can do it again in the not too distant future. Any more recordings coming up that you know of?
We've put 3 records out in 3 straight years, Paul, so we may sit on these for a while and just try to play and get some more fans in. So, I play all the instruments. So it takes a while to crank one out, but there'll definitely be more. I mean, I've got enough music now to put probably 5 more out if we wanted to. But you'll see some more down the line, sir.
Oh, fantastic, Kyle. Look, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Paul. I want to just tell you one more time, thank you so much for all the support, and you guys are awesome, and I appreciate you having me on.
No, it's our pleasure, mate. Look, we love great artists, and you just happen to be one.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Hope to talk to you again soon, but here is another Kyle Martin song from the new CD. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Paul.